Hey everyone, it's Bob Perkins with Crystal, bringing you another First Know Your Buyer podcast. We're here in Santa Fe, New Mexico at the Emblaze Executive Retreat. Used to be AISP
Yes.
Executive Retreat. Here with special guest Tom Leidigh. Tom, welcome.
Thank you.
Hey, Tom, you're going to talk a little bit about deep discovery. Our podcast, Knowing Your Buyer, it's important to understand not just their challenges, but their deep pain. And you're going to share some tips from your outsourcing company, Infinity, which has been around for probably close to 30 years.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
So, Tom, what are you going to talk about today?
Well, first of all, as you start to engage with a potential prospect, it's really important to know two things. The first is, what's the audience persona? What's their style in terms of you preparing a presentation and some solutions so that you can tailor that presentation to the style. The second thing I think is really important is to understand what some of their strategic needs are.
Yep.
And so that you can address those as either opportunities or challenges. And we do have a very productized qualification process.
Right. It's like 10 points. And
Yes.
can you share maybe a couple of the 10 things that you try to uncover?
Yeah. So what we do, we have a right fit scorecard, 10 questions that help us understand the relationship. You either get a 0, 5, or 10 score, 0 being doesn't qualify, 5 being sort of, and 10 being they do.
Mm-hmm.
But questions like number one is this is strategic objective of the potential prospect.
Mm-hmm.
So, and if it is, that just tells you there's going to be budget and there's going to be focus and they're willing to invest in the program.
And I think in sales, your question might be, is this opportunity a strategic initiative that the whole company is behind? In sales, it could be something similar to that. What is your number one goal? What is your number one initiative for you as a sales leader? And then you go deep into those, right?
Yeah. I mean, I mentioned budget, but one of the key things too is understanding the product or service offering that
Sure.
you potentially might partner with them on. We look for strong brands that are 1 or 2 in their categories.
Yep.
As a sales partner, we don't create demand for their product. We sell their product. So we just have to have confidence that the product is demanded in the marketplace.
And, a lot of times we salespeople, we ask the question, oh, what is your number one challenge? And then they move on. One takeaway from this discussion, Tom, is you have 10 steps.
Yes.
You don't do 4 or 5 and 6 and move on. You do all 10.
Yeah. And it might take a couple meetings to get all of that, or it could take a meeting within some follow-up if you run out of time. I'd like to maybe ask a couple more questions in an email, let them know during the presentation we're going to do that.
Nice.
That way it sets some expectations. And if they answer, that means that they're motivated to continue with the process.
I think, and a couple takeaways, and we'll kind of wrap this up. So you mentioned persona, style. When you understand the persona, chances are you're going to have a general idea of what we call universal challenge, universal truth. But create those 5 or 6, maybe it's 10 questions to make sure you're covering everything you need to cover. So when you present a solution to this person, you're going to go back on those 10 things and say, hey, we can help with this and that.
Yes. Yeah. And the one last thing that is part of knowing whether this relationship is going to be good for both parties is the ROI.
Sure.
So we develop an ROI together in partnership, which means both of us are aligned before our prospective client might go to their CFO or controller. Mm-hmm. And oftentimes we'll have them on an ROI call to get their buy-in and their input to the assumption.
I love that, because you're saying not only can we help with this and that, here's what you can expect the outcome to be.
You bet.
Right. And I know sometimes that's a little risky, but that's what people want to know. What am I going to get out of this? What's it going to mean to my bottom line, top line, whatever? Tom, it's been really good. Briefly talk a little bit about Infinity and what you all do.
We're basically an outsourced sales agency that work with prospective clients to help them get and keep customers. Mm-hmm. So everything, inbound, outbound campaigns, nearshore, offshore campaigns, account management, heavily overlaid with data analytics and investment in the human capital to build great sales teams.
And you have this process. I know not only the 10 step, but something called Buyerlytics, which really digs in, customizes how you can help companies.
Yeah, we productize our Buyerlytics and all the steps in a perspective and client engagement process so that it's scalable and everyone in our company sees the world the same way.
Tom, you're on LinkedIn. Anyone wants to talk to you further, best way to reach out to you?
Yeah, LinkedIn's awesome. Yep.
All right, everyone. Thanks again. Stay tuned. We're going to have another couple of videos live from Santa Fe, New Mexico at this executive retreat. Stay tuned.
Thank you.
Thanks.